I'm never using this combination ever again. This is what I get for going on ahead and doing my foundation off camera. I used the NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer and the L'Oreal True Match foundation, and it is balling up. But anyway guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. I actually done my foundation just quickly there off camera because I have no fake tan on my face right now, and there was quite a difference between my neck and my face colour, okay? And I'm not ready for that yet. I'm going to be doing like an ultimate smoky eye, and I'm also going to be keeping it at a drugstore. We're going to be using a lot of like drugstore classic products as well. I done a wee bit of deep diving into my makeup collection this morning. I was like, what products have I not used in such a long time, but obviously still trying to keep it drugstore. And I've lifted out quite a lot of products from Wet n Wild, Elf, Physicians Formula. I got the Pretty Airspun powder. I'm going to be taking the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, this wee one here. So guys, I'm sure most of you all know by now the situation with my brush collection that I have in collaboration with Buff and Blend. As you know, unfortunately, the brand is having to close down at the end of this month, the 30th of November. And that's basically why I'm here today. I really want to base this makeup tutorial, like as I say, around my brushes, and have my brushes like the main, not the main concern. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use right now, but oh well. Moving on. Obviously come the 30th of November, that's whenever the brand is closing down. Silly me here thought that once that happened that you would still actually be able to go on and purchase my brushes. I have been now made aware that's not the case. Come the 30th of November, you'll no longer be able to purchase or have access to Buff and Blend or to buy my brushes. Every time I use this concealer, I'm always blown away. Freaking beautiful. There's only 2 weeks left until the brand closes down, so there's literally only 2 weeks for anybody to purchase my brush set, and that's why I'm trying to push it as much as possible, because we have a couple of units left, which that means like a couple of sets left depending on maybe how much it is or how many it is, and hopefully we don't, but just say that there is. I don't know what's going to happen those brush sets, and I don't want them to go into the bin, or I don't want them to go to waste, or like I don't want anything to happen to them. I want everybody to like have them and love them as much as I do. And then for cream bronzer, I'm taking this one from Makeup Revolution. That is one thing I noticed whenever I was actually trying to get like a drugstore cream bronzer. The only drugstore cream bronzers I actually have are only from Makeup Revolution. So because of this situation with my brushes, we have now done final reductions. Guys, my brush set is now down to $14.99. And that is the price that it is going to be staying at. So honestly, get them now while you can. I went on the other night and I bought 3 more sets, and I think I'm actually going to go on and buy another 3 before the 30th comes. Because like even for me guys, like once they're gone. Like I don't have an unlimited stash somewhere. That's basically the situation with my brushes, guys. Get them now when you can. There's obviously only a limited amount of stock left, but honestly get them now while they're as cheap as they will ever be. Or not as cheap, I don't like to say cheap because like they're not cheap brushes, like they're honestly the most fantastic brushes. And the feedback that we get from them is absolutely amazing as well, by the way. But get them now while they are affordable, and I'm really trying to promote them as like Christmas presents, just like wee stocking fillers, Christmas presents, whatever. Somebody had actually said the last time I had used this that there's a sticker around the side. There is no like wee sticker around the side or anywhere on this, unfortunately, so I do apologise. I can't actually tell you what shade I'm using, but that's the colour of it there anyway. With my eye makeup today, I'm just going to be using, or like trying to use like every single brush within my collection, and just kind of like going into more depth than what I usually do with each brush. See this eyebrow this day, I swear to goodness. This is usually like my good side of my good eyebrow, and this one is always looking like crap. But see this eyebrow this day, I swear. And I'm going to use the Pretty Airspun. Oh, the smell of this powder is honestly like nearly nostalgic for me, you know. Oh my goodness. My under eyes. And then down around my nose, smile lines especially. I always like to do my chin, and I don't know why. I think I just do it for like shits and gigs. I'll continue to keep on kind of pressing it in with my wee powder puff until there's like minimal powder left in the puff and it's all kind of pressed into the skin. And then straight away, because I don't like to leave that on too long, I'll take this wee brush here. It's actually from Morphe, the Jekyll & Hill JH06 brush, and then I'll just quickly dust that off. And then whatever excess is on the brush, I'll just kind of dust that over my forehead, because I don't like to powder my forehead at all. But I still like to add the tiniest wee bit of powder to it, just like the excess that's on the brush, and just tap it on the forehead, just so that it's enough to kind of just like set the makeup. And set the makeup in place where it's not going to crease, it's not going to budge throughout the day or anything, but it's also not going to completely mattify it and dull it down, if that makes sense, because as you can see, like I still have like a bit of like a natural glow coming through. And then taking setting spray. This is one from Makeup Revolution. It's the Super G Hydrating Spritz. I'm going to be taking this wee highlighting powder from Wet n Wild. So I'm just going to use the tiniest wee bit of this. Look how beautiful is this highlighter, honestly. Stunning. I actually forgot how nice that highlighter was, although do be careful because I'm always really heavy handed with things anyway, but sometimes you can apply a wee bit too much, like I always do. And it can leave like a wee bit of a shadow, you see that? I'm taking the Milani a bit blush in, of course, Luminoso. An oldie but a goodie, right? I was never actually a fan of this whenever it released actually, because I was never a big lover of blush. I've only been a lover of blush the past, I want to say, 1.5 years actually. But whenever I first started YouTube, I never applied blush, and I always had like comments, people being like, why do you never use blush? And then to bronze, I'm taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. We'll try it anyway, because I think this is going to be a wee bit too light for me. I don't like the smell of this bronzer at all. It stinks. Let's do some of my makeup. So I've left out a couple of palettes here. The COLLAB Roaring Hearts palette. I know you might not maybe consider COLLAB as drugstore, but it's like drugstore prices. And then I have the Wet n Wild Colour Icon palette. Let's see one here. This new palette is absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to be using like my brushes here. Like this is, I think, maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 sets that I have going on here. And then I have this wee box here. This is actually my mum's set of brushes. I wanted to take more promo pictures of my brushes for like Instagram and stuff, but the brushes that I have are just like, they're minging. And because I've obviously like had them and used them for so long, and every single day they were like prim and proper and brand new, so I obviously had to steal a pair of my mum that she hadn't used yet. So this is obviously what they look like when they're brand new. And this is the packaging, by the way. So it's just like a really nice emerald green with finishes of gold. And then of course this is the 6-piece brush set here. Whenever you get your brushes, it does come with a leaflet, and it actually tells you what individual brush is used for. And let's all laugh together. I don't know who has noticed or who's not, but there's a spelling mistake in the leaflet, which cracks me up. Like every time I see people that have bought my brushes and I see the leaflet, I'm like it's something that I didn't even notice until Kyle pointed it out. Or I probably still wouldn't have noticed it. I'm of course going to go into one of my 01 brushes first of all. So this is my big fluffy crease brush. Pour another, which is this shade here. As you can see, it's well loved. And I'm just going to focus this shade just right within that crease, right in that upper crease and brow bone, just go in circular motions, just really getting that on and in there. And I'm also going to be joining it to my nose contour as well, just right in that socket, just swooping it round. Buff and Blend has a crease brush, but I lived for that brush. I used it in every single tutorial and every single day. It went everywhere with me. So I knew that once Buff and Blend contacted me and it was finalised that I was going to be creating my own brushes, that I was wanting to create a big fluffy crease brush, because it's just so big and fluffy that it just gets that shadow on, especially like your first shadow, just on in no time. I just kind of like to call it like my one and done brush, because if you're somebody that just likes one shadow all over the lid or in the crease just as like a day-to-day look, this is like honestly your go-to brush. I'm also going to drag that shadow out as well in the outer corner. I think whenever it comes to makeup, your brushes are basically like your magic wands. They're half the battle. Like, you have good makeup brushes, they're going to help with the application of your makeup. Definitely, it's always good to invest in, you know, good tools for your eyeshadow and your eye makeup. Because as I say, it's half the battle. You have a good eyeshadow brush that's going to perform well, it's going to do half the blending for you. After my crease colour, I'm going to go into a shade that's slightly darker now, so taking this shade here on my 06. So my 06 is my flat packing brush, so it's really good to like not only apply your shadows to your lid, but you can blend at the same time. You can go on and just pat on your shadow, whether it's on the lid or on the crease. The lid or the crease, yeah, we'll go with that. The lid or the crease. And then you can go in and blend with the tip. And I love this brush for matte shadows, shimmer even, and especially like loose pigments. It's quite handy with loose pigments as well, because of like the flat side. It covers like quite a lot of the surface area on the lid, so it just kind of gets it done quicker. And of course you can keep your 01 beside you as well. We can go back in and kind of help blend out those shades. Like, as you can see, I literally just like go through like patting some of that shadow on, because there's obviously like excess on that brush, and then just blend. So it's just really handy to kind of have like a wee bit of a 2-in-1 type of brush, instead of like having a packing brush and then having to pick up a blended brush, and you know, vice versa. I'm going to take my 01 and I'm going to go into the Wet n Wild palette and take this shade here. I'm going to take my 03 brush, which is this wee flat eyeliner type brush. I love this for shadow eyeliner on the lash line, and even like packing and stamping shadow on the lower lash line as well. So I'm going to take, oh, I didn't even show you what colour I was using there. So I'm going to be taking this shade here, bringing that right over into the inner corner as well. And then I'm going to take my 02, I do apologise as it is a wee bit dirty, but this is like my wee petite blending brush, and as you can see it does come into like a wee bit of a point. You can be really precise with your blending, and it is a wee bit stiffer as well. I know I have another wee blending brush here I'm going to talk to you about, but it's a wee bit more flexible with a wee bit more movement, whereas this is a wee bit more stiff. So I'm not taking any product on this, by the way. But I'm just going to go in and lightly just blend and diffuse that shadow at the lash line. So this is my 04, which is my other wee petite blender brush that I had just mentioned there. So I'll kind of hold the two of them up so you can kind of see the difference here. So this one is also a wee petite blending brush, as is this one, but as you can see it's a wee bit more fluffy and a wee bit more flexible. This one is kind of like the wee baby sister of my 01. It's kind of like the miniature version, but with it being more fluffy and everything and more flexible, you're able to get such a flawless blend with this wee brush. Again, I'm going to go into that dark brown shade, and I'm going to start darkening and deepening up the crease. also blending this out using like really light pressure as well. I'm literally just like tickling the shadow and kind of just maneuvering it into place using really, really light pressure. I'm going to take my 03 again and I'm going to go into the black in the palette. And I'm going to run this along the lash line. I'm not going to bring it in too far towards the inner corner, but whenever I come to the outer corner, I'm going to kind of blend it up the way. Just using my pattern motions. And then I'm going to go back to my 02. And just kind of blending that, just using like pattern motions. I'm going to kind of keep my eye open as well because I'm wanting to kind of keep an eye on the placement of it. I feel like I'm not really wanting to blend it too far or anything. I'm actually going to take my bronzer brush and I'm going to go into, if I'm actually able to like get any of it, the shade here. Like that transition shade that we used. And I'm going to like pinch it and just hit that outer corner. See, whenever you're doing like a really, really blown out smoky eye, see if you get your bronzer brush or even like a wee brush like this and you go into like say your transition shade or even your bronzer and you just blow it out, it just, I don't know what it does, but I just think that looks as if it's just more seamless and more blown out. It was more seamless looking, I don't know. I'm going to reuse these wee lashes I was using in one of my previous tutorials. I do my lips while them lashes are getting tacky, so taking the lippy pencil from COLLAB, what shade is this? BFF2. I've started to use this one over a BFF3 because I have noticed that BFF3 can be a wee bit too dark. And see, whenever I'm out somewhere and say if I eat something, say for example, all my lipstick will come off, but the lip liner will not budge. So that's like a really good thing I suppose about the ColourPop lip liners, they will not budge. But because the lip liner is so dark and then I blend like my lipstick in with it, it looks okay, but see once like there's no lipstick left, you just have this like dark brown outline on your lips and it looks ridiculous. Like I was eating KFC last night and it's obviously like really greasy food, so it took off all my liquid lipstick and I was just left with this outline. I looked ridiculous. So yeah. This is the Makeup Revolution Matte Bomb liquid lipstick in the shade Nude Charm. So this is quite nude, so I like to take the tiniest bit. And then just taking a wee fluffy brush to just blend that out. Kind of blend it into the lip liner as well. Yeah. I'm kind of trying to like catch myself on here. I'm definitely one of these people that like, if I'm not saying it and I'm maybe just thinking it, you'll see it in my facial expression. It's just, I hate gloss. But like, just for the tutorial I'm using it. And you can definitely tell that I don't like gloss because of my facial expression. And there is something on my camera. What is that? Oh, I've done something. Okay, we're all good. Taking my wee 05 brush. I love this wee brush for lower lash line, which is actually quite weird. I did actually initially create it for cutting the crease and applying shadow or shimmer to the lid as well. And even whenever I'm doing like a smoky liner or whatever, I'll use, of course, like my 03 brush, but I'll also use my 05 brush too. When I'm using the black, by the way, from the ColourPop palette. Just bringing that whole way from the inner corner to the outer corner. It's 02 and I'm going to go into, I think I might take just like a mixture of them two shades and then just keep on blending that out. And also joining it to the outer corner as well and like still continuing to bring it up and out. Okay guys, so this completes this tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching. I will of course have everything I use listed and linked down below in the description box for you, and of course along with my brush collaboration as well. I'm going to mention it quickly here again guys, now is definitely the time to grab my brushes. Only a couple more weeks left of these brushes being available unfortunately, and I do apologise if I was being a wee bit misleading like for the past couple of weeks and everything, because I honestly did think that once Buff and Blend closed down that you were still going to be able to buy the brushes, which that doesn't really make sense at all, does it? No, I should have known that. I just want to quickly say a massive thank you so much to anybody who has actually purchased my brushes already and is continuing to purchase my brushes. I know I'm getting so many of you on Instagram messaging me saying that you've bought like your third set or your second set, or I don't know, and it honestly means more than you think. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, for like the continuous support throughout the whole year of my brushes being launched and stuff, because it is coming up to a year since they launched. And it is sad the fact that we haven't even had like the whole year, but so it is what it is, and I really do hope in the next couple of weeks that we do sell out. Because I just don't want my brushes to go to waste, you know what I mean? I think that kind of makes sense. So yeah, get them now when you can, and of course do keep in mind that they're only $14.99 now. There is only a limited stock available, and yeah, great Christmas present or a wee treat to yourself. But anyway guys, I just want to thank you again so much for watching this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the next one.